My name is Chef Coco, and you are watching Joburg Today.
Hello and welcome to Joburg Today. My name is Dumi Tlapo, bringing you the best of what's going down in and around Johannesburg. South Africa's biggest sandwich franchise, the Sandwich Baron, turns 21 this year, and founder Sally Jolette Joy joined me in studio to tell us a bit more about what sparked the idea of starting a business based on something as simple as sandwiches. South Africa's fastest growing sandwich franchise, Sandwich Baron, celebrates over 2 decades in business this year. The franchise chain has grown from 1 to 51 stores in 2 decades. With me in studio today is Sally Jolette Joy, who founded the franchise. Sally, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, can you tell me, where did it all start?
I started in Alberton, of all places.
South. I'm also from the South.
Are you also from the South? No, so we started with a little store in Alberton, and we've grown to national stores.
And how has can you take us through the journey? I mean, from 1 store to 51 store over 2 decades.
So basically, when I started, I just wanted a little sandwich shop, and I never had any dreams of franchising or anything. And out the blue, this lady came and said to me, "Can I buy a franchise?" So I was actually sort of quite shaken in my boots, and I went no.
Why sandwiches?
I'd worked in London for 10 years, and I was a big sandwich eater. Every day I used to buy my sandwiches and take them to work, and I didn't have much money in those days, so I used to treat myself to this really delicious French bread once a month, packed with tuna mayonnaise and crispy salad. And I don't know, I always had that in the back of my mind. So I did have a restaurant, so I sold my restaurant, and I thought, no more food for me. And when the money ran out, I thought sandwiches, South Africa doesn't have sandwiches.
Would you say that this is somehow, started some sort of like sandwich culture in South Africa?
Well, I like to think so, because we're coming up 21 years now, and I think, with the South Africans, they are a very, very healthy nation. They're sort of very diet conscious, so I think that's one of the reasons why we do so well.
What would you say, makes your product unique?
I think basically because the South African people chose my menu, so I offer everything that the South Africans like, from biltong to avocado to chicken livers. So, I've always been sort of the type of person who focuses on my brand. I don't ever worry about what anyone else does, and I think that's why I've been the leader in this industry for so long.
You've got lunch boxes, you've got low carb, sandwiches and meals. I mean, you guys have also got platters.
Yes.
Is there anything like new and exciting that we can expect from you guys this year?
Well, I have just launched my new menu. Due to demand from my customers, I always listen to my customers. I brought on the wraps, and the wraps are doing very, very well. And I've introduced a few more vegetarian options, because a lot of people seem to be going away from meat. So we have the Banting veggie omelette and a vegetarian breakfast, and they also, flying like hotcakes out of the store.
Now, you mentioned that when you first started, you first started at home in Alberton, then you had a little restaurant which you sold, and now you've got many franchises, which obviously, you can literally go into the store, you can call for delivery. In the beginning, how did you actually get the sandwiches out to the people?
Well, when I started, I only started with 5,000 Rand, so I had to buy my first motorbike on my credit card. It was an old beaten up Honda, and basically all the bikes I bought in the beginning, they were all secondhand, so they were always breaking down. So, even me, I've delivered sandwiches on many occasions. Even now, sometimes owning stores myself, my staff might have a crisis and ring me and tell me, please come and deliver, which is absolutely ridiculous, but desperate times call for desperate measures. So, the challenge of it has been the delivery and starting with such little capital.
And can you tell me a bit more about, being an entrepreneur in the franchise business?
Look, franchising is not an easy thing. There's no school to teach you how to be a franchisor. It's something that you have to learn over the years by experience. But I think what helps in franchising is listening to people.
Absolutely.
You know, when when your franchisees are not happy about something, you have to listen to see what the problem is and sort it out. And obviously, you know, you've got to realize that these people have invested in your brand, so you have to look after them. You have a duty to look after them.
And what would you say has been your biggest highlights over, you know, the last few years?
I think the biggest highlight was when my franchisees started beating my turnovers because for many, many years my stores were always at the top. But when my franchisees started to overtake me and they all started reaching the big turnovers, then I knew that we had something good.
I'm John Terode and you're watching Joburg Today.
We will be giving away a few Sandwich Baron vouchers to some lucky viewers, so be sure to like us on Facebook, joburgtoday.tv, and follow us on Twitter at Joburg Today to get more on that. Did you know that milk is a complete food, making it a vital source of nutrition for people of all ages? Well, Milk for Change has entered its second year of addressing undernourishment in South Africa, and although the campaign is done, the initiative is still running, and I got a chance to talk to Liesl Gruber from Tetra Pak to tell us a bit more about the campaign and initiative. Tetra Pak, in partnership with Feed SA, has initiated a campaign called Milk for Change to address undernourishment among South Africa's larger communities and educate consumers about the nutritional benefits of long-life milk. With me today is Liesl Gruber from Tetra Pak, who will be telling us a bit more about the campaign. Hi Liesl, how are you?
Hi Tumi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you please tell us a bit more about the Milk for Change campaign?
As Tetra Pak, our vision has always been to make food safe and available everywhere. With long life milk, this obviously facilitates that vision. Milk for Change is the campaign that is sponsored by Tetra Pak in association with our NGO Feed SA. We've identified the fact that obviously there are a lot of South African families around the country that don't have access to proper nutrition due to factors beyond their control. And long life milk is an opportunity because it is a source of both calcium and protein and contains essential vitamins and minerals, a way for us to address that nutritional gap, if I can call it that.
So now there are quite a lot of foods, that one can pick. We could choose maybe nuts, maybe, go into things like breads. How and why milk?
So I think that's a good question. I think it comes down to the fundamentals that, it's the age-old saying that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and what is breakfast without milk? But more so than that, it's about the fact that milk is, like I just mentioned, it's not only a source of both protein and calcium, it also contains essential vitamins and minerals which are required for a nutrient-rich diet. The fact that we pioneered the UHT technology in the early 60s, and the fact that long life milk, which is essentially just milk that's been heat treated and packed without preservatives, means it lasts longer, and it really does help us in facilitating or addressing these nutritional gaps in these larger communities, because it does last longer. It's able to reach those communities in need.
And which areas in South Africa is the program currently being implemented?
So this year we've employed a mechanic, which is an SMS donation. Based off of some of the learnings from last year, we've found that the SMS donation mechanic allows for a low barrier to entry. So it doesn't matter where you are in the country and what you have access to. If you have a mobile phone, you're able to get involved. All you have to do is SMS Milk for Change to 40384, and 20 Rand will be donated on your behalf to the campaign.
How has the journey been so far?
It's the second year of the campaign. I think we're really still in the early stages of creating awareness. But having someone like David Carr come on board and exposing us to a bigger, wider audience is definitely counted in our favor. But I really think if you look at the crux of what the campaign stands for, and essentially for us, it's about talking about the fact that a small action really does make a big difference, and that there's no greater feeling than the feeling of doing good. I think it has been an incredible journey, and I look forward to launching this campaign every single year, and again, building up to that World Milk Day, making it a calendar day in everybody's calendar every single year.
Is there an alternative option of, let's say I've got a whole lot of cartons of milk, or maybe I've got a farm or something. Is there an option for one to, literally donate liters of milk?
So last year, that is actually the way the campaign worked. We handled physical milk donations from consumers. However, it did create a little bit of logistical issues. So this year, obviously, we've tried to employ the SMS donation mechanic just because it's also simpler. Everybody, no matter where you are, is able to get involved. It's something we can look at for next year's campaign because, of course, there's always room for improvement and a way to get everybody involved. But this year, we're trying to look at just the SMS line in terms of getting consumers involved.
Cool. Thank you so much for joining me today, Liesl.
Thank you so much for having me, Tumi.
Okay, my name is Chef Martin and you're watching Joburg Today.
That's all for today. For more on the city, do check out our playlist. From myself, Dumi Tlapo, and the Joburg Today crew, it's goodbye.